Over time, you must have heard a nutritionist speak about no-carb foods, specifically those that have no sugar content or a relatively low sugar content. But what does that mean, and how is it even possible? Welcome to another episode of Brainfield's channel. In this episode, we focus on the top 10 no-carb foods with no sugar. Stick around to the end of this video, because one of the top 5 on this list would shock you. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, click on the subscribe button and the notification button on your screen so you won't miss any of our videos. What are no-carb foods with no sugar? In truth, there really isn't a food that you could point out as being zero on both carbohydrates and sugar. Well, that is if you have no plans on mentioning water or apple cider vinegar, because they have absolutely zero traces of carbs. But with water or ACV, they would only sustain the user for so long before drastic failure because the body requires other nutrients. The search, however, should be on foods that ultimately have zero or low insulin content. Carbohydrates, protein, and fats disintegrate into glucose, which then spikes the insulin levels in the body. The reduction of insulin levels in the body is what necessitates the keto diet. The ketogenic diet involves a high-fat, moderate protein, low-carbohydrate eating plan. So, what are the best foods to help you remain healthy and reach your goal? Top 10 foods for a keto diet. Number 10. Xylitol. Xylitol serves as a natural replacement for granulated sugar. Now, let's unpack that. Xylitol is relatively similar to erythritol, and together, they're known majorly as sugar alcohol found in fruits and vegetables, albeit in small amounts. The major source of xylitol is the wood from a birch tree. This type of natural sweetener tastes like sugar and is used in that manner, but it is not absorbed by the body the way sugar is. This means that it does not trigger as much insulin response. Xylitol is a no-carb, no-sugar food. However, this does not translate to mean that it does not contain carbs at all. It does, but in very small quantity. Number 9. Leafy greens. When you hear leafy greens, what comes to mind? Vegetables. And although kids hate vegetables, the health benefits of vegetables triumph over the hatred. Vegetables are beneficial to humans. Why else are there people who live fine lives with a vegan diet? For a no-carb, no-sugar diet, some of the best leafy greens are kale and cauliflower. Kale belongs to the cabbage family, and not only is it a no-carb, no-sugar food, but it is also a kind of vegetable with anti-inflammatory abilities. It helps lower inflammation in the human body while providing strength. Cauliflower, on the other hand, is praised for its antioxidant components, which have been linked to slow and reduce the growth of cancer cells in the human body. They might be vegetables, but they are one of the top 10. Number 8. Salmon fish. If you are a fan of fish and other types of seafood, entering a no-carb, no-sugar diet might be burdensome, seeing as most seafoods contain traces of carbs. Seafood like oysters, shrimp, crabs, mussels, lobsters, and every other shellfish. But salmon comes in handy here. Salmon is a great source of protein, B vitamins, traces of potassium, and omega-3 fatty acids. The omega-3 fatty acid is actually what makes salmon one of the most sought-after seafood. Thankfully, it has a little number of carbs. More so, it contains an antioxidant called astaxanthin, and it might be helpful in reducing the risk of heart diseases. Number 7. Butter. Where does butter come from? Before checking if butter is good food for a no-carb, no-sugar diet, you must first understand that butter is a dairy product, meaning that it is mostly milk-based. In that light, butter is 80% fat. What impact does the fat content have on the carb content? A tablespoon of salted or unsalted butter contains about 0.009 grams of carbs. This means that you do not need to worry about the quantity of butter consumed when going on a no-carb, no-sugar diet. While this is true, you need to be a bit mindful of the type of butter brand being consumed, as some make use of hydrogenated oils and artificial ingredients. Number 6. Watermelon. Why should you eat watermelon? Aside from the fact that watermelon is a fruit and the fact that it is one of the best natural ways to aid hydration of the human body, watermelon has a bunch of other health benefits. It contains antioxidants like lycopene, which have been linked to reducing some types of cancer and, at the same time, improving health of the heart. But is it a good inclusion to a no-carb, no-sugar keto diet? The answer to this question varies. It varies on the portion of watermelon you plan to consume and other types of food you choose to consume per day while on this diet. Watermelon undoubtedly has lesser carbs than most fruits. It has a net carb of 11 grams, which is relatively low for a normal diet and high on a keto diet. Eating watermelon while on this strict carbs diet would mean being careful of the number of slices you take and other foods. But all in all, watermelon is a great inclusion in a no-carb, no-sugar diet. Number 5. Cheese. In truth, it is possible that you would have doubts about cheese being a low-carb, no-sugar diet. But it is also impossible to argue with the facts. Cheese is naturally low in carbohydrates and high in fats, which is what makes cheese serve as a good addition to your keto diet. Yes, cheese is low in carbs, but how low is this low? According to food nutritionists, when going on a keto diet, the limit of the number of carbs allowed per day is as low as 20 to 25 grams. Cheese, at least most cheeses aside from the Norwegian Ketosis cheese that contains 12 grams of carbs per ounce, weigh fewer carbs. They usually fall in the range of 1 gram per ounce or 0.1 gram. But here's the catch. This calculation is per ounce of cheese consumed. What this means is that although cheese would fit into a no-carb, no-sugar diet, you want to be mindful of the type of cheese being consumed and the quantity, seeing as the carbs increase by the ounce. Number 4. Eggs. If you are familiar with nutritional diets, you would agree that eggs are one of the constant foods that you have come across, especially when it has to do with children's nutrition. This is because egg contains quality protein and a number of vitamins: selenium, vitamin D, B6, and B12. The chicken egg is divided into 2 parts, the egg white and the egg yolk. The yolk contains 185 milligrams of cholesterol, and the egg white contains 0. In the same manner, it is only the yolk of an egg that has 0.5 grams of carbohydrates. This makes eggs one of the lowest carb foods for a keto diet. Interestingly, it is not really about eggs. It is about the chicken that lays the eggs. In the real sense of it, we become what we eat, and in light of that understanding, you want to know whether it is an organic egg, a cage-free egg, or a vitamin-enriched egg. The type of egg determines the extent of their carb concentration, but eggs generally have low carbs. Number 3. Pecan nuts. Pecan nuts come from a species of hickory trees that is native to the southern part of the United States. However, what makes them more suitable for a keto diet than other types of nuts is not because it is loaded with a number of vitamins and minerals. It is rather because raw pecans are said to be cholesterol-free, sodium-free, and very low in carbohydrates. What additional health benefits does pecan nut provide aside from being a food with low carb and no sugar? It is believed that pecan nuts help regulate the sugar levels in the blood, and it further helps its users by reducing the possibility of having certain heart diseases. It is usually advised that the pecan nuts be eaten raw, as, at this stage, they come with all of their nutrients and the low carb level is retained. This means that they would easily blend with salad recipes, side dishes, and dessert recipes. Number 2. Coconut. This cuts across a number of byproducts, but let's not get faster than ourselves. What's coconut? Coconut is a fruit that comes from a palm tree. It is that hard bark you are familiar with that has a chewy texture and nutty flavor. Interestingly, this fruit is one of the top foods on any keto diet. This is largely because it has a number of health benefits. For starters, it helps in regulating blood sugar levels, and it offers its constant users a low risk of heart disease. The good thing is that coconut has a number of byproducts. The chewy part, when wet, can be pressed to cream, and when it is dried, it could be grounded to flour. This allows the users to have different ways of incorporating the fruit into their keto diet without getting bored. Additionally, oil gotten from coconut serves as an excellent source of natural fats, providing strong mental focus and a healthy body. Number 1. Green tea. Why is green tea on the first spot on this list? Many other names on this list contain significantly fewer carbs or sugar than every ordinary food. But green tea is one of the few foods that contains 0 carbohydrates and 0 sugar. Where does green tea come from? Green tea comes from a natural plant called Camellia sinensis. The plant is ingested either by brewing the leaf of the plant into hot water or by mixing the blended leaf into water. The good thing about green tea is that it can be taken alone without having to add things like milk, either vegan or dairy, or sugar. Aside from being a good inclusion to a keto diet, what other health benefits are gotten from green tea? Green tea might be helpful in weight loss programs, in improving the functionality of the brain and memory retention, may help prevent cardiovascular diseases, and the presence of EGCG catechin may enable it to fight off some types of cancer diseases. While green tea is clear of carbs, it can easily become carb-laden, especially when you purchase branded tea bags mixed with other ingredients or begin to add milk or sugar. From natural sweeteners to eggs and nuts, there are varieties of foods that would fall under the no-carb, no-sugar diet. Note that the foods on this list might not be zero carbs, but they are very low and would fit into the 20 to 25 grams of carbs allowed daily for a keto diet. Thanks to this video, you know the foods that are accepted on your keto diet journey. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others.